Good afternoon, dear students. Myself Sachin S. Pawar, and I welcome you to my last video on Unit 8 redox reactions. In this video, we will be covering two concepts. One concept is a paradox of fractional oxidation number, and a redox reaction and electrode process. Before I begin this session, I would like to tell you that you are going to learn about this second part in detail in class 12, unit 3, electrochemistry. Okay, so here we will learn only the brief idea regarding the redox reaction and electrode process, and we will stop our session. Details we shall see in this particular syllabus itself. Okay, so let's begin our today's session. Okay, so what is the paradox of fractional order reaction, fractional oxidation number? You already have learnt that oxidation means the removal of electrons. So electrons are removed. I will tell you the whole electrons are removed: 1 electron, 2 electrons, 3 electrons, and so on. Removal of electrons. Reduction means addition of electron. Again here addition of electron. Examples are seen, and we have also seen the definition of oxidation number. And what we have understood by oxidation number is the number of electrons gained or lost by the element in formation of a chemical bond. Number of electrons lost or gained, number of electrons lost or gained. And when I say number of electrons lost or gained, is it possible that electron can lose in half electron? Half electron, is it possible to gain or lose half electrons? Answer is no. Either there will be complete loss of electron or a complete gain of electron, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So the electrons are gained or lost in terms of even in terms of full digit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. But according to the concepts which you have learned, that some of the elements have got fractional oxidation number. The one we have already seen in the beginning when we have learned the rules of oxidation number. Here O2 plus O2 minus, they have oxidation number, and there is one more. If I can add O2 minus 2, you will see the oxidation numbers. You will see these oxidation numbers. They have oxidation number which are minus half and plus half. Their half oxidation numbers are fractions. And again, if you try to calculate based on the molecular formula the oxidation number here, you know oxidation number of oxygen is minus 2. So this is X, then this is 3x minus 6 is equal to 0. So X should be plus 3. But the oxidation number is 4 by 3 here. Oxidation number of carbon in this compound is 4 by 3. Similarly, you will find the oxidation number of bromine is 16 by 3. 16 by 3. Here in Na2SO4O3, the oxidation number of sulfur is 4 by 3. Fe2O4, the oxidation number is 8 by 3. They are fractions. The question comes, why? What do you mean by fraction? Now for this, I would like to tell you that whenever we have a fractional oxidation state or oxidation number, it will reveal the structure. And it is actually the average of the oxidation number of all such atoms present in the compound. Average of the oxidation state of all the same atoms of same element present in the compound. Just to give an example, see the structure of C3O2 structure. You see here we have 3 carbon atoms, out of which 2 carbon atoms have got +2 oxidation state and one is having 0 oxidation state. And if you just say, then it should be an average. If I take an average of this, because we are supposed to know the structure, and if we know the structure, then average of this, just see, +2, there are 2 atoms, and 0. So total, if I just check here, I'll just show you. See here we have plus 2, 0 and plus 2, total becomes 4, but since there are 3 electrons, the average would be 4 by 3. So oxidation number will be 4 by 3 for carbon. Similarly, bromine, if I just take, then oxidation numbers, you see there are 3 bromine atoms in the molecule because structure reveals that. So here it will be plus 6 plus 4 plus 6, that is 6 plus 4, 16. But since there are 3, I have to divide average is 16 by 3. So oxidation number of bromine becomes 16 by 3. Similarly, sulfur, you see it is 5 plus 0 plus 0 plus 5, 5 plus 0 plus 0 plus 5, that is 10 by 4, 10 by 4. And if I just say the division of this 10 by 4, it is then 2 2s are 4, 2 5s are 10, it is 5 by 2. 1 minute. 5 5 0 0, 5 5 0 0, yes, 5 5 0 0, it's correct. 5 5 0 0, okay, it is 5 by 2. Oxidation number is 5 by 2. Okay, it's a typing mistake, I'm sorry. Here it is 5 by 2, 5 by 2. So why it is a fraction in the first 3 examples, I think it is clear. You have to just see the structure and we have to take the average. We are taking the average of the oxidation number of all the atoms of those elements present in the compound, and that is why we are getting a fraction in the first 3 examples. There is one more case. If you just take here Fe3O4, Mn3O4, Pb3O4, I am just taking one example here, Fe3O4. If I just take Fe3O4, Fe3O4 is actually a combination of 2 oxides. That is, you see here it is ferric oxide and ferrous oxide. So ferric oxide oxidation number of Fe is plus 3 and ferrous oxide FeO oxidation number is plus 2. So if I take an average, it is 3 into 2 plus 2, that is 6 plus 8 by, there are 3 Fe atoms, 8 by 3. So oxidation number is 8 by 3. You are going to get oxidation number 8 by 3. Like this we have for O2 plus, O2 minus and so on. So this is very much clear that the fractional oxidation number is either because of the structure you reveal, and in that case it is an average. But if it is having a mixed oxide, if you have mixed oxides, then the fractional order is fractional oxidation state is to be found like this, So this is regarding the fractional or oxidation number. Okay, fine. Let's move on to the next concept. Next concept is redox reactions and electrode process. Okay, for this let me begin with one example which we have learnt. Here what we have done is a zinc rod is, we have a beaker. In that beaker what is done is we have taken copper sulfate ions, that is we have taken copper plus 2 ions in the solution, and a rod of zinc is dipped into it. And you will see the reaction is happening in the interface, and that reaction is zinc plus copper plus 2 is giving you zinc plus 2 and copper. So here you will see zinc is converting into, zinc from the rod is converted into Zn plus 2, that is it is losing electrons, and copper plus 2 is from the solution is coating on the surface and it is becoming copper, so it is gain of electrons. And you know zinc is getting loss of electron means, you know, it is getting oxidized. I have already told you here, just see remole of electron, so it is getting oxidized and copper is getting reduced. Okay, now the chemist have a little modification in that, and what they have done here, you have taken a different metal and a solution of the different ion, that is copper plus 2. So zinc is dipped in the solution of copper plus 2. What if we dip a metal in its own ion? What if we dip the metal in its own ion? So when you dip metal in the solution of its own ion, I will get what is known as a redox couple. What we known as a redox couple. And usually the redox couple, suppose I have a metal, say M plus M metal, and it is dipped in the solution of its metal ion, say M plus N ion, then the redox couple is written by a line. What is this line? You will learn in more detail in second year. I am not going to go in much detail about it. Here redox couple is indicated. First you write the ion, and put a vertical line, and then we write the metal. So this is the symbol for redox couple. Now here, to be brief, I'll tell you here what I have done is, in the first case I have taken a zinc rod and dipped in zinc plus 2 ion solution, and a copper rod is dipped in a copper ion solution. Here there are two tendencies are happening. One is that there is a tendency to lose electrons by the metal ion, This is called as electrolytic solution pressure. Okay, there is one tendency, that is copper can lose electrons to form copper plus 2. This is electrolytic solution pressure. And there is one more tendency, that is that from the solution copper plus 2 can gain electrons. Let me just clear this out. Okay, I'll just clear this out. Okay, I hope you have understood what is a redox couple. So I'll just remove this. Okay, so here we have two types of tendencies when the metal is kept in contact with the solution of its own ion. Zinc in contact with zinc plus 2 ion, copper in contact with copper plus 2 ion. Either there is a tendency to lose electrons, that is called as electrolytic solution pressure, and one more possibility is that the metal ions in the solution have an ability to gain electrons to form the metal. That is called as osmotic pressure. So same thing can happen for copper plus 2 ion also. Copper plus 2 ions can gain 2 electrons to form copper. So osmotic pressure. So two tendencies are working. One is called as electrolytic solution pressure, another is called as osmotic pressure. Now which pressure is more, that is very, very important to decide the reaction happening in the redox couple, that is the metal dipped in the own ion. Now when the zinc is dipped in the zinc sulfate solution, you will see that here electrolytic solution pressure is greater than osmotic pressure. So here tendency to lose electron is more than tendency to gain electrons, and as a result the reaction which is happening here is zinc has to lose electrons. That means zinc will lose electrons to form zinc plus 2 ion. So this reaction is more preferable in this case. And here the osmotic pressure, here electrolytic solution pressure is less than the osmotic pressure. So osmotic pressure is more, therefore here the most possible tendency is that to gain electrons. That here osmotic pressure is more, so tendency to gain electron is more. That means the reaction which is more happening is this: copper plus 2 should gain 2 electrons to form copper. So here the tendency is that. So here you will see, because of these tendencies, there is a development of a double layer. You see, in this case electrons are are deposited on the rod, and we have a negative charge on the rod, and Zn plus 2 ions are going to surround in because opposite charges attract. So there is a double layer formation, and because of this double layer formation, some potential is developed, some voltage is developed, This voltage is called as standard reduction potential, or short formed as SRP, reduction potential. Sorry, I will say it is called reduction potential. So certain potential is developed, that is called as reduction potential. And same thing is happening here. You will see here we have a negative rod, therefore we will have a negative potential on zinc, and that is at 25 degrees Celsius and 1 atmospheric pressure. If you find out, it is called standard reduction potential, and it is a calculated value, and that value is minus 0.74 volts. So the potential developed here at STP, that is at 25 degrees Celsius and 1 atmosphere, for zinc dipped in zinc sulfate is 0.74 volts. And similarly for copper, we have a positive rod on the copper, therefore we have a positive potential, standard reduction potential, and that copper potential is plus 0.34 volts, standard reduction potential. So when a metal is dipped in the solution of its own ion, there is certain development of potential. That potential is called as reduction potential. So it is called reduction potential, or it is called a reduction potential, or also known as electrode potential. Potential. Okay, and it is usually symbolized as E or E. Okay, and a standard electropotential means the concentration of the solution should be here 1 molar solution of that solution. I have to take 1 molar solution of this, and then I have to maintain a condition of 25 degrees Celsius and 1 atmospheric pressure. I will go with standard electrode potential, and it is symbolized as SRP or E naught. So here you will find that SRP of zinc electrode, that is zinc ions dipped in zinc, is minus 0.76 volts, and the SRP of copper electrode, that is copper dipped in copper sulfate, is plus 0.34 volts. Such SRP values are well known to us, so they have been calculated, and the calculated version of all the electrodes, all such electrodes is done, and we have one series of such, and this series becomes a very, very important tool. And here you have that series which is known as electrochemical series. And this electrochemical series is arrangement of such electrodes, such redox couples, in the increasing order of their SRPs, or a standard reduction potential. And from this data, we will come to know a very interesting point, and that is, here you will see we have seen some displacement reactions. Say for example, here just concentrate on the hydrogen. This is the hydrogen electrode, a redox couple of hydrogen electrode. Its potential is arbitrarily taken as 0 volts. This is just for conventional method, and with respect to that, we just find out the potential of the remaining ones. How to find that you will learn in second year electrochemistry topic. So for hydrogen electrode, for SRP, this is called SHE, standard hydrogen electrode. For this, potential is taken as 0 volts, and it is found that in this series, the electrodes which are placed below are the metals which are strong reducing agents. And the elements which are placed above it are weak reducing agents. They are oxidizing agents. So you know, oxidizing agents and reducing agents. The increasing strength of reducing agent as we go down, and increasing strength of oxidizing agent as you go up. So you will find that in the top we have fluorine. So fluorine F2 is the strongest oxidizing agent available. Strongest oxidizing agent available. Oxidizing agent means I have already told you the one which lose electron in the reaction. So the fluorine has the greatest tendency to lose electrons, whereas in the chart lithium ions, lithium metal is the strongest reducing agent. This is strongest reducing agent. In this particular series, lithium is the strongest reducing agent and fluorine is strongest oxidizing agent. That means it has a tendency to gain electrons, tendency to gain electron to the greatest extent. And here we have lithium has got more tendency to, I'm sorry, here I said lose electrons, I'm sorry, it should be not gain. Oxidation means, you know, oxidizing agent is the one which reduces, so it has a tendency to oxidizing agent. This is strongest oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent is the one who oxidizes. So who oxidizes means he should remove electrons from it, so it has ability to gain electrons very easily. Ability to gain electrons very easily. Ability to gain electrons very easily. So I hope you are following. Oxidizing agent, oxidizing agent, oxidizing agent means the one which oxidizes somebody. Oxidizes somebody means oxidizes others. That means oxidation means loss of electron, so it should remove electrons. It should remove electrons means it should gain electrons. It should remove electrons, it should gain electrons. So fluorine atom has got the greatest tendency to gain electrons, and here it is a strongest reducing agent. That means it has a highest tendency to lose electrons. So it is very much clear. We have learnt redox reactions. Here we have seen plenty of examples. Just to give an example, here you will see the metals which are placed below hydrogen electrodes, below She, they are strongest reducing agent, though, so they displace hydrogen from dilute acids. These can easily displace hydrogen from dilute acids. Displace hydrogen from dilute acids. Examples you can look into my previous videos. Whereas those which are there, they cannot displace. They cannot displace hydrogen from dilute acids. Okay, that is one important thing. And one more thing, the elements which are below, like for example, if I just take here, for example, here I am taking a copper electrode. I am taking a copper electrode whose potential is 0.34 volts, and I will take a zinc electrode. I'll take a zinc electrode whose potential is minus 0.76 volts. Minus 0.76 volts. Now here you see that zinc is below copper, therefore it is good reducing agent, and this is oxidizing agent. So reducing agent means itself gets oxidized, and reducing agent, oxidizing agent means itself gets reduced. So here if the zinc is in contact with copper, then copper has an ability to get reduced and zinc has an ability to get oxidized. I hope you are following this. It is losing electrons. Losing electrons means it is getting oxidized and copper is getting reduced. So with this idea, if I just go for a concept that is known as a Daniell cell, if I go for a concept known as Daniell cell, this is a electrochemical cell. electrochemical cell. Here what is done is a zinc rod is dipped into zinc sulfate solution whose concentration is 1 molar, and a copper rod is dipped into copper sulfate solution whose concentration is 1 molar, and the two are connected to one another by a salt bridge, and the two electrodes are connected from the outer circuit. You will see on the left hand side, which is called as left hand electrode, zinc has a tendency to see electrode potential, or SRP I will take. So here you see SRP of zinc is smaller than SRP of copper. Here it is minus 0.76 volts and this is 0.34 volts. So this is more negative value. So it should be acting as a reducing agent. And this should act as an oxidizing agent. Positive value means oxidizing agent, negative value means reducing agent. So this should be acting as a reducing agent, means it should get oxidized. Oxidized means it should lose electrons, and that's what is happening here. Zinc loses electron, zinc loses 2 electrons to form Zn+2, and this is oxidizing agent, therefore it gains electrons. That means here you see copper plus 2 is gaining 2 electrons to form copper, and you see because of salt bridge the circuit is complete, and here you will see certain potential is developed. The electron starts moving. So here from in LHE electrons are ejected, and those electrons will come onto the rod, and these electrons will flow into the outer circuit, and they will come on the copper rod, and these electrons on the copper rod will be accepted by the copper plus 2 ions from the solution, and we have this reaction. So reactions are happening. The overall reaction, if I just say, then add these two, if you add this, we will get an overall cell reaction. So because of this cell reaction, certain potential is developed. This is called as cell potential. Certain potential is developed, that is called cell potential or EMF of cell, and that can be easily be determined if you connect here a voltmeter, you will easily get the value. And EMF of the cell we can find out. And how to find out that EMF of the cell, that we will see in our second year syllabus, and this is what is known as a Daniell cell. An example of electrochemical cell, that is, some chemical reactions are taking place here. You see here some chemical reactions are taking place. Okay, some chemical reactions are taking place, and that leads to development of electricity, and this is known as electrochemical cell. Such many things we will learn. More details about that in the chemical in the topic called electrochemistry in second year. So with this I conclude that my syllabus is over, and in my today's session I have discussed what is the concept, why we say have a fractional oxidation number. Then I have told you what is electrode process, I have told you what is redox reaction, I have told you what is a redox couple, I have told you what is electrode potential, how it is developed, that also I have explained. I have also explained what is standard electrode potential, and I have given you a brief idea regarding Daniell cell. Salt bridge, what is the purpose? Here we have a connection between the two solutions, for which we have a U-tube. Which is filled with KCl, KNO3 or ammonium nitrate in gelatin or agar medium, and the details about that you will learn in next year. So this is a Daniell cell, also known as galvanic cell. Right. And I have also discussed about one important thing, that is how to identify which is a better reducing agent and which is a better oxidizing agent. For this we have seen electrochemical series also. And this completes the topic. Thank you. I'll stop here.